Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we are going to look at how to use the media encoder, Adobe Media Encoder, to export from After Effects and to create videos that are good enough for or excellent quality for YouTube and Vimeo and other applications if you would like. Now, you know very well that you can come to composition and go to add to render queue. But we come to lossless, for example, the options here are not viable to put them on the web. You have QuickTime, and then QuickTime, yes, you can put it on the web. It will be better to have, for example, MP4s and more, I would say, compression. Cool. So let's look at the media encoder. If you come here, say composition, add to media encoder. Now immediately the media encoder will open up like you have seen if you have done the good installation. Media encoder is free from Adobe, but you will require a subscription at least in Adobe After Effects. Cool. So notice that it has brought our composition over here and is suggesting H264. This is what I used before. You can see that I was preparing for the lecture. I put YouTube here. So if you click on the arrow here next to H264, you will find that you have almost the same options as rendering within Adobe After Effects, but there is more than that. What I will do, I will just come to web video, and you notice you have Vimeo and YouTube at the end. Of course, you can come to TV broadcast. If you are doing something important, you have H264 here, and you can come and mess up with them. What's interesting are the devices here, where you have Android, Apple, Kindle, mobile, Nook, and TiVo, whatever. And in the Android, you have so many resolutions that you can use. And notice it's all H264, and this is an important one. Now, we come back to YouTube here, and in YouTube you have 5 options: either low resolution and low resolution wide, or you have the 720 1080 up to 2160. That's pretty interesting. That's what we call the 4K. I will choose my motion intro and double click at 1080. Now notice what happened. It did not remove the 720, it added another one. So actually, if I press the green button here to start the rendering, it will give me 2 MP4s that I can use later on. But let's delete one of them. To delete one, you just select it and press the minus over here. Of course, you can come, like you've seen, add very many compositions here and do them at one time. That's okay. Fine. This is for YouTube 720 or YouTube even 1080. Here you are. So let's remove the 1080. So we have only 720. This is actually everything about the encoder. Is as simple as this. You can come to Vimeo and you have the settings for Vimeos. Now if you come over here to YouTube and click, it will open all the settings for this 720. Here you have, first of all, the format H264. If you change it, it's at your risk, but H264 is the best. So I'm using that preset. You can also output name, change the output name to wherever you want. There is a summary. If you play with the video here, usually I prefer match source. It will be quite okay. I have the frame rate here, 29.97. It's progressive, whatever. These are all settings already done for you. If you want to dig into that, it is not a subject of this course, but really this is about video and what is VBR and the first pass and stories like this. Is not about After Effects, is about videos here. You have the multiplexer is MP4 and the streaming is standard. If you have captions where you want to publish it, you can come and dig in it and make changes. But now, for peace of mind, just use the preset. Do not make any changes. You can also view your animation here and decide, okay, this is good, this is the one I want. I will cancel here, and I'm ready now to start rendering and creating the video. We can set the folder here. You can click on it and come and decide which folder you want to put it in. Let's cancel here. I am ready to render and export the animation. I'll click on the green button and it will start. Notice that this option here is slower than the one that you will find in Adobe After Effects directive rendering from the comp. So it will also show you what's happening. I will pause here. When it's ready, I will show you what's happening at the end. Cool. Now it has rendered completely, and we can go back and see our movie. I'll just click here and it will open where the MP4 has been saved. I will just double click and it's over here. I will just double click on it. It will open it for me. It's gonna open in VLC Media. And here is our movie playing. We have now quality. So that was about how to render using the Adobe Media Encoder. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we want to learn how to create a video with a transparent background. Now notice what is the background here. Actually, if I come to composition and I go to composition setting, I put a background for the composition. Several times during the course, I told you this is not a background. This is just a color that you will put in the back. If you want to create good backgrounds, you should use the solid layers and do some effects or something like this. But now I worked on this one and I have my animation and I want any background. How do I define what is a background? How do I define that there will be transparency? The first way to check is to come to your small button here. It says show channel and color management setting. I will click on it. I will see RGB, red, green, blue, and alpha. Now, I think I already talked about these things. For now, let's go to alpha. Alpha, it means this is the channel of non-transparent layers, and it is channel of transparent layers, meaning everything in white is not transparent, and everything in black is transparent. So when you come to your alpha channel, whatever you see in white will be there. If I go, for example, to the red, you notice that I have a background. This background contains some red. So, of course, it's not transparent background here. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the red channel. If I go, for example, to the blue, also I can see that my background here, the color I put, is having some blue. So I'll go back to alpha. And if I render with RGB and alpha, we'll see that I will have only this in my video. Let's do that. Let's go back to RGB here. So let's go to composition and go to add render queue. Now, in the render queue here, you have three main parameters, in fact, two main parameters. I don't like using the small arrow here unless I have set some presets. I will go to lossless. Now, in lossless, I can have AVI and I can have QuickTime. The rest, I don't think you will be able to use them. They are just sequences or something like this. If you are on Windows, choose AVI. Actually, if you choose AVI or QuickTime, it will be the same. I will choose AVI here, just for the sake because I'm Windows, and I will come to channels. If I look at channels, I have RGB and alpha. I will click on RGB from alpha. Now, when I have RGB and alpha, it means it's going to show me the RGB channels, and the alpha channels, meaning the non-transparent channels, will be shown. And I come to format options here. You notice I only have the video codec and it's not interesting. They are too sophisticated here for our small motion graphics. I will leave them alone. I will come back. Now I can make a video AVI that has no background. Let's try it. I will press OK. I will go to the output to make sure that I'm doing it in the right place. And it's okay for me here. Let me delete this one. This was a test I did. I will create a motion intro 1. I will save. I will come and say render. Of course, it's going to render. This is a very small one. It might take a few minutes or even less, few seconds. Okay, so now it has finished rendering. That's very nice. How do I know that my video has been created AVI and it is not having a background? Okay, we will do something else also here. We will come to motion. The composition will go to composition and we go to add to render queue again, and we go to best setting, and here we have quality is the best. I will leave it like this, but the resolution, I'm gonna take it to quarter. Now notice the video has become smaller. It's 480 by 270, but the quality will remain intact. The quality will be very good. I will click OK. Now I will come to lossless again, but I will not use AVI. I will change to QuickTime. When I come to QuickTime, if you notice here, I have certain options here. I will go to format options. If you choose H.264, it's not gonna work. H.264 does not support, transparent background. You can check it out. I put X264, ICOM, RGB, and alpha is shaded out. You cannot use it. I'll go back to format. Now, what to choose here? You can use JPEG 2000, but the best is to use animation. Your file will have a large size, but it's okay if you really need this option of transparent background. I will use animation. And of course, I want the best quality. If I click OK, in animation here, I have RGB and alpha. So remember, when you're using QuickTime, you use animation as the format options and not H.264. You can use JPEG, I think, but of course, animation is the best quality. You go for it. Cool. Now I will come back and I want to render this one again. I will click on render and it will render it. Now, this is a very easy process and it's quite speedy. Here you are, it has finished now. Let's go and test our videos. We have 2 videos that we have rendered and we want to see if they are really working. I will go to a professional software such as Camtasia. Camtasia is pro, is very good. If you don't have it, then maybe you can download a trial version and see what you can do with it. But actually, this is quite sophisticated software and it will render very good MP4s for you in small size. Nevertheless, on the Mac even there is a better version than the one on Windows. I will import the media, that is intro and intro 1, I think. Yes, one is AVI and one is MOV. Cool. I'll click OK. You notice the AVI guy is very, very big size. In Camtasia, I have here a JPEG, just a photo. I put on the background here. I will take the video and drop it above the image. Notice it has no background. This is my .mov or the QuickTime movie. If I take the AVI now and also drop it above, you notice that my AVI, which is a high resolution, also doesn't have a background. So what I could do here is just to start, bringing in the movies and compiling. Of course, it doesn't make sense that you render a movie with no background and come and put it here and just put it on top of a composition. I don't advise you to do that. You don't do that. There is another method to compile a movie here or to create a movie and use it. This one we'll see in the next lecture. It's a pretty advanced level. Cool, guys. So to create your transparent background movie, you come to channel first of all, you check your alpha channel, you see what's going to appear. Then you can come back to render queue, composition, add to render queue, change your lossless, for example, and you put it AVI or QuickTime and go to format. For QuickTime, you choose animation, and for AVI, there is no choice to be made here. You just go to RGB and alpha for both of them. And you have a transparent background video or a video where the alpha channel is working fine. And this is how to create your RGB plus alpha or transparent background videos. See you in the next lecture. Hi guys, in this lecture I will show you how to create an animated GIF or an animated GIF. I don't know, you pronounce it the way you would like. And you will notice it's pretty easy. But you will need Adobe Media Encoder to be installed on your system and perfectly linked with After Effects. To open Media Encoder to create a GIF, you will go to Composition and you will say Add to Adobe Media Encoder. Adobe Media Encoder will pop up and will use the last preset you have used. So now for me it's YouTube 720 HD H.264. And of course, we have the folder where you want to save your GIF. You can click on it and choose any folder within your system to save the GIF as a motion intro name. Cool. I will cancel this one. Now, you don't want to do H.264 and YouTube. You want to change this preset. To change the preset to GIF, come to the preset browser here and write simply GIF. So you will search for it. You have here 2 options. GIF sequence and animated GIF. Well, GIF sequence will create a new folder inside the folder where you are saving and will save a single image for every frame you have inside your composition. So you'll have 500 frames, you will get 500 images. The animated GIF here will create a single GIF image that has the animation. Now you need to take this preset and apply it to motion intro. It's very easy. Select the motion intro from here or from here if you like, and then come to the preset, right click and say apply to queue. Now you have two of them. You can simply click on the first one that you don't want and just press delete, and here you are. It will ask you if you want to really delete it. You say yes, and all you have to do now is to press on the green arrow here for it to start creating your GIF image. And you can see here how it's working. It will show you what is happening. Now it has completed. To see your image now, you click on the link and it will open in your file manager. Here it is, and you have your image. If you double click on it, for me it's gonna open in Google Chrome. Here you are, and you see that you have your perfect GIF here, running in your browser, and you can take it to your website now. This was quite easy. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi guys, in this lecture you are going to discover how to export a single comp and its pre-comps and its related footage into a new project, and this is very important. For example, here we have this download. I hope you downloaded it, that has so many compositions and pre-compositions. This is, I think, section 2 or 3. But now all I want is this animation, and I want all its pre-comps to become a new project. And that is important. I want to render it. I want it to stand alone. How do I do that? Well, this is pretty easy in After Effects. This was an option after CS6, if I remember well. You will come to File, and in File, you will say Dependency, Collect Files. Now, it always open None, Project Only. If you leave that option, it will export or duplicate this project altogether, which is totally useless. Then what you do, you select 4 selected comps. Now when you choose 4 selected comps, you are not choosing the comps that are in the timeline. You are choosing the comps that are selected in your project. You could have selected 2 or 3 of them. And then you can generate a report if you'd like, and you can obey proxy. We didn't do that yet, but the most important is a reduce project. When you select reduce project, you will be only exporting this composition with all its pre-comps and footage, if any. If you don't choose reduce project, then you will just duplicate that project that you're working on. So I will click reduce project. And actually, this is all you have to do here. You say collect, and it will ask you for the directory. Here, I'm gonna call it project export folder. So it's gonna put everything in a folder. I will say save. And we have our new project with the project export here. I will rename this one project export-ex for export, for example. And notice I'm still in my initial project. It did not open the exported project. So what I will do, I will say file, let's say open project, and go to bring in project export-ex. Of course, I'm opening a new file. I will click open. So the old file has been closed and saved maybe. And here I am, I have a new project called project export-ex, for example, and my pre-comp is here, or my composition is here, my project is here, and all its pre-comp. If I had any footage or any solids, they will be here. And here you are. This is how to export a pre-comp to make it a single project. Fine, that is very beautiful. In the next lecture, I will show you how to import this pre-comp into a big project or a different project. In this lecture, I want to create a demo. So I'm putting my first composition here, and this is my demo composition that I want to render and create a movie. Unfortunately, my other composition or my other project is in another file. How do I bring the other file into, or the other project into this project, save them all together, and create my demo? So now this is pretty easy. I will right click in the project and say import and file. And then you remember in the previous lecture, we saved that project export-ex that contains only a single composition with its pre-composition and footage, and we put it aside as a project. So now I want to import that one. I will import it inside here. Now notice what it has done here. It has created a folder, project export-exp.aep, and this is very useful. It means this folder has imported material. It is not original in this project. Of course, you can come and rename it, but at the first sight, you know you have imported this project, and I find it very useful. And when I'm working, I don't change the name. I keep it .eap to know exactly this is the source name. Then if you Scroll down, you notice that there is another folder. This is the original folder of the project that you have imported in, and it has all the pre-composition and the composition. So let's look at this one. I think this is the one we want to put here. Fine, so I will come to demo and just drop it in and maybe move it to this side and just play them both, and I have my demo. Here you are. This is the way to import a project inside After Effects other projects, and you can create your demos, and it's very useful. Unfortunately, there is no dynamic link between two projects in After Effects, at least as much as I know. You cannot link two projects or two compositions dynamically in two different files on your storage media. Now, I hope you can create your projects and really organize them on your storage media, and then come back, import them one by one, and create a global project where you can create a demonstration or a whole sequence of kinetic typography and tell your story. So this is a conclusion about the course. In my opinion, I don't care how much you learned. I care about how much you can do, how many animations and how fast you can build them. That is very important. And for you to really master animations, you got to practice and practice and practice. Try to do 1, 2, 3 animation per day. If it is your job to be a graphic designer and do animation in After Effects, go home and do more animations. Try to be very creative. Look around the web. Find some animations and replicate them if you can. If you can't, find out how they are done. It is very important that you practice. You learned a lot, and all this information is within your mind, fine. But how do you apply it? You cannot start remembering. You got to start thinking. You know, creating animations is a mindset. I would say it's a culture. You know, you want to create graphic, and sometimes you want to animate every single word in a sentence. Sometimes you just want to do lower third. Fine. But your imagination and your spirit of creating animations is the most important. Now, sometimes you find out on the web that there are some animations that are excellent. Please believe me, they were not done in half hour. They took a lot of work. Even the best guy on YouTube who tells you I do this in half hour, not true. He has prepared for for his animation, and he's showing you something really working. I don't know. He tried maybe 2-3 days. So you went through all the elements of After Effects. Not all, but most of them. There is a lot in After Effects that you can use. I encourage you, open After Effects, imagine an animation, and create it. This is the best way to become better and better. Now, about this course, it's true that there is need for a conclusion for every course. Fine. But after this conclusion, in any section after that, I'm going to start putting new animations. Some of them are going to be sophisticated, not as naive as the one you went through. Some of them are going to be complicated. I want to teach you how to become a true master animator. I have to admit that I made a lot of money out of After Effects, and that I use TVs. I have contracts with TVs. I have contracts with a lot of video companies and professional people that really sell their videos. There is great money to be done. And I sell very many of my animation packages on the internet. Unfortunately, I will not be able to tell you which ones. So please find out what you can do. Take contracts. I will say take a contract. Gamble. If somebody wants to give you $10, $20 to do an animation for his video, do it. Text animation, of course. Do it. Take the $20. Struggle for 3 days. But you know, at the end, you will become a true professional in animations. And believe me, there is a lot of money in creating text animations and using them for lower third, whatever you want. So thank you very much.